Hola, buenos días. Bienvenidos a mi clase de español de hoy otra vez. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Yo estoy muy bien. ¿Y tú qué tal? Pues hoy vamos a hablar de Future Study and Work y vamos a hablar de las tareas domésticas. Otra vez. We're going to talk about household tasks. That's tareas domésticas. Otra vez. Once again. Okay, so we're going to do more practice with that language. But what I want to do, guys, is introduce other ideas, bits of grammar that are going to be super useful if you want to boost your GCSE results. So we're going to be, if you like, consolidating the language of household tasks, which includes a lot of generally useful language anyway, but also adding some bits that are going to boost, as I say, your ability to speak, particularly to speak in Spanish. Now, ahora, so if you look at the table that we've got in front of us, on the left-hand side, we've got a series of verbs down here. Limpiar, pasear, hacer. And on the right-hand side, we've got some items that could match with the verbs. And these are tareas domésticas. And in the exam, I might ask you, ¿Qué tareas domésticas haces normalmente? What household tasks do you do normally? So you would not need to memorize all of this. You probably will just need to come up with a couple of things that you do in the house to help out. But it's worth looking at these verbs and other expressions because they're generally useful anyway. So I'm going to go through these and help you, again, give you little hints as to how you might remember them. Some of the verbs are harder than others. So, limpiar, to clean. I think that's quite a tricky one. Limpiar, to clean. I can't see any obvious connection with an English word. Sometimes I say to people that you might want to think about a limpet, which is a little seashell that sits on a rock. And if you go rock pooling, you might have seen little limpets. And I don't think this is true, but if you think that the limpet cleans the rock as it sucks and sticks onto the rock, limpiar, limpet might work. I can't think of anything better. Tell me if you can think of anything better. Pasear. Okay, so at this point, it's useful to pair up pasear with pasar. Pasear here and pasar. Pasar generally means, we see it most in the context of to mean to spend time. Okay, so not to spend money, but to spend time or to pass time. And we often, I'll teach you the expression to spend time with my family, for example, which would be pasar tiempo con mi familia, for example. But here, pasar means more literally to pass, and it links to the word aspiradora, which is a hoover or vacuum cleaner. So the way to say to do the hoovering is pasar la aspiradora. Pasar la aspiradora. And again, if anybody knows anything about medicine and first aid, and anybody who watches Holby City or Casualty, you might have seen people being aspirated, I think is the word, where very dramatically somebody gets in the middle of a biro or a pen and sticks it through somebody's trachea or your windpipe to help them breathe if they're having a choking fit or something like that. Anyway, aspiration is to do with putting air, is to do with airflow. So again, it might help. We also have respiration, so it's all kind of related. But aspiradora, if you think of a vacuum cleaner or a hoover, it's all about kind of sucking through air and all the rest of it. So to do the hoovering is pasar la aspiradora, as opposed to pasear here, which has got an E in it, which all we need to remember is in the context of household tasks, pasear is used in the sense of to walk, to pass, and it goes with al perro. So if you want to say to walk the dog, it is pasear al perro. pasear al perro. So pasar la aspiradora, to literally pass the hoover. So you can imagine that, can't you, if you're hoovering the carpet. But pasear, which is more to do with the idea of walking, pasear is what you might do with the dog. Pasear al perro. Hacer is a big verb to know, and it's the verb to do. And again, very specifically, we're using it with de canguro. Hacer de canguro. To do, literally it means to do of kangaroo. It makes very little sense in English, but it's the word for to do or to babysit, actually, is what it means. That makes sense, doesn't it? Because kangaroos have little pouches with their babies. That's a very nice expression that the Spanish used to mean to babysit. Hacer de canguro. Cuidar. Most of these are not easy, guys. So cuidar is a useful verb, and you will see it in the GCSE in all sorts of contexts. But cuidar, here it is, cuidar is to look after or to care for. Cuidar. So what would that go with down here? In fact, if we have a quick look at these items down here at this point, we might start being able to match them up as we go. So there's a lot of things that come out of this language that you need to be aware of. So the very first thing here, el coche de mi padre or el coche de mi madre, this is how you say my father's car or my mother's car. And in Spanish, as I've already told you, we don't have that construct. We don't have this idea of my dad's car with that apostrophe S on the end of dad. That it doesn't work like that in Spanish. In Spanish, if you want to talk about this idea of belonging, you're going to include the word of somewhere. And in Spanish, if you want to say my dad's car, it's going to be the car of my father. El coche, the car, de mi padre, of my father. If you want to say my mother's car, el coche de mi madre. If I wanted to say my brother's television, it will be la tele de mi hermano. La tele de mi hermano. If I wanted to say my grandmother's house, it will be la casa de mi abuela. La casa de mi abuela. So this is the way we talk about sort of people possessing things. You're always going to see the word de, of, in that type of construction. De canguro we've already talked about. It goes with hacer. It's canguro, kangaroo. De usually means of or from. Hacer de canguro, to do of kangaroo, is how they say to babysit. Next word, la ropa. Nothing to do with rope or string. It's the word for clothes in Spanish. La ropa. La aspiradora, we've just seen, is the hoover or the vacuum cleaner. Jardín. Okay, what part of your house is el jardín? It sounds a bit like it really, doesn't it? It's garden. Jardín, garden. El jardín. En el jardín is how you say in the garden. La basura. Basura is rubbish, as in the thing we put out every week for the dustman to collect. La basura is rubbish. I keep losing my mouse. There we are. La basura. Also, it's used in the sense of junk food. So if you wanted to say, I like junk food is comida basura. Comida basura. So you would say, me gusta la comida basura. La mesa, the table. La mesa, the table. Mesa, table. El cuarto de baño, or just el baño, is a room in the house, and it is the bathroom. El cuarto de baño, where cuarto literally means sort of quarter. If you know sort of in olden days, and they used to talk about ships, and you'd talk about the captain's quarters, meaning the captain's rooms, if you like. So quarters is a bit of an old-fashioned word for rooms as well. La cena, dinner. La cena, dinner. Something more familiar maybe. J is a mi hermano, a mi hermano or hermana menor. So hermano, brother, hermana, sister. And if you want to say younger brother or sister, you have to add menor. So my younger brother would be mi hermano menor. Mi hermano menor. My younger sister, mi hermana menor. Al perro. Perro, dog. We've just seen that because it goes with pasear, where pasear is the idea of walk, to walk the dog. Pasear al perro. Mi dormitorio, easy one, isn't it? Dormitory is to do with sleeping. Dormitories are sort of typically large rooms with lots of beds where lots of people sleep in the same room. Mi dormitorio is my bedroom. Mi dormitorio. Los platos, easy, plates. And it can mean sort of meals as well, or dishes, in the sense of I like Mexican dishes or meals would be los platos mexicanos. But platos here is literally dishes or plates. And actually allied or linked to that is the word el lavaplatos. Now you might remember I've talked about the verb lavar and lather, thinking about lather to mean to wash. And you might be able to guess what appliance in your kitchen the lavaplatos might be. It is the dishwasher, el lavaplatos, literally the wash plates, isn't it? El lavaplatos. And there's other appliances that use lava in their sort of title, like a lavadora is a washing machine, as in for clothes, i.e. la ropa. Remember, la ropa, clothes. So, very quickly, I'm going to whiz down the meaning of these to remind you again. El coche de mi padre or madre is the car of my dad or the car of my mother. De canguro, kangaroo. La ropa, clothes. Aspiradora, hoover or vacuum cleaner. Jardín, garden. Basura, difficult one that. It means rubbish. And think about comida basura as well, which is junk food. Mesa, table. El baño, or el cuarto de baño, in a more full kind of description, is the bathroom. But it's easy just to say el baño. And you can spot the N with the squiggly above it, which means the N is pronounced like a ñ. So it's not bano, but baño. La cena, aquí, is dinner or the dinner. Hermano menor and hermana menor is how you say younger brother, younger sister. Perro, dog. Dormitorio, bedroom. Platos, plates or dishes. Lava platos, dishwasher. Now at this stage, because what I'm going to do is get you to just check how much of this you can remember, but having dealt with these items down here in a fairly thorough way, we're going to run through the verbs down here, and then I'm going to leave you to pause me and match them up. Limpiar, difficult one. It means to clean. Pasear is to walk, as opposed to pasar, which means more literally to pass, as in to pass something. It's quite difficult to nail the meaning of it. But actually more generally, not today, but generally, pasar is the word that we use to pass or spend time. Pasar tiempo con mi familia, to spend time with my family. Pasar tiempo, time, con mi familia, with my family. Next, hacer is to do. Hacer, to do. Cuidar, difficult verb, means to look after or to care for. Really nice verb to remember and use. Cuidar. Lavar, think about lather from soap, it's to wash. Fregar, very specific this one, and it means to wash the dishes or to wash up, very specifically. Pasar, sorry, I'm being attacked by cats, ginger cats from all angles. Pasar is, which we've looked at, is to pass. Arreglar. Now, I've bolded up the word regla in the middle of this verb. Excuse me. And regla is actually the word, well, it means two things in Spanish. Regla means a ruler, the thing that you draw a nice straight line, neat straight line with, and remember the neat bit. And regla is also the word, one of the words for rule, as in school rules, or any type of rules. So regla is either a ruler, the thing you draw a neat straight line with, or it's a rule, okay? And the word, it helps you to remember the verb arreglar because it means to tidy or to kind of to sort or to neaten, okay? So it's that idea of to sort out, to tidy, to make neat, arreglar. Sacar, okay, sacar again is quite specific. It generally means to take out, as in to take out something. And it's also the verb that we use when we talk about to take a photo. We would say to take a photo. The Spanish say to take out a photo. And the reason for that probably is a historic one. And if anybody knows anything about very old-fashioned cameras, they used to be big kind of wooden box things in Victorian times. And you'd have a big, like a rectangular kind of plate. It went in the back of the camera, and that is what the image eventually formed on. And once you'd taken your picture, you'd take this big heavy plate thing out at the back, and you would have your image, or you'd have to probably develop your image. So it probably is a historic type thing, but in Spanish we say sacar fotos, to take out photos, for to take photos. And that's pretty useful to know because if you're talking about what you did on holiday, you can always mention that you sacar fotos, to take photos. In fact, you'd say something like saqué muchas fotos. I took lots of pictures, past tense. Vaciar is an easier one to remember because if you think about vacant or vacate, that's to do with, if you talk about a vacant lot or a vacant parking lot, it means empty. And vaciar is the verb to empty something. Vaciar, to empty. Planchar, again, hard to remember all of these, but planchar is to specifically to iron, actually, here for household chores. And again, I'll give you a little bit of other background on where you might see plancha and this words that are related to that, because planchar has the idea of a board, a flat surface, and you might see it in relation to food. If you're ever in Spain and you see gambas a la plancha, just without the R on it, it means kind of, gambas are prawns, and it means prawns, or anything else for that matter, cooked on like a flat griddle. Okay, so it's that idea of grilled or griddled food. So gambas a la plancha means griddled. Okay, delicious, muy rico, muy rico. And preparar next is easy. It means to prepare. That's a nice easy verb. Next we come to a verb that's quite an important one because it's got a lot of uses and it changes its meaning subtly depending on what you want to say. But for our purposes today, poner generally means to put, but it can mean to put on as well, as in clothes. But it's got lots of, as I say, it's a chameleon of a verb. It changes its meaning depending on what you want to say. But here it sits opposite quitar, and it specifically is linked to a household chore regarding the table, because to poner la mesa is to lay the table, or think of it to put the table, to lay the table, and quitar la mesa is to clear the table or clear away the table. Poner, quitar. Quitar, like quit, isn't it? Poner to put, quitar to quit. It's how we say to lay and or to clear the table. Poner la mesa, to lay the table. And finally, trabajar, which we really should know by now because it's central to this theme, is to work. Okay? So, at this stage, I know that's a bit of a long introduction to quite a lot of language, but really the idea now is for you to put me on pause and, having listened to me rabbiting on for nearly 20 minutes, see if you can match up the verbs as best you can with the items here on the right hand side. And all you need to do is write a number and a letter. So hacer, as we looked at before, is to do, and it goes specifically here with de canguro. Hacer de canguro, to babysit, literally to do of kangaroo. So all you'd need to write is 3B. So pause me, come back to me, and we'll correct your answers together. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too long doing this. You can argue that there's other ways that these things could have worked, which is fine, as long as it kind of makes sense. But here's how I would have done it. Limpiar, actually meaning to clean, could have gone with my father or my mother's car, actually. So if you've put that, it's fine. But what I had in mind was the bathroom. Limpiar el baño, to clean the bathroom. Limpiar el cuarto de baño. So number one with H or possibly A. It makes perfect sense. Pasear, I told you this one at the beginning, is the idea of to walk, and it goes with the dog. Pasear al perro here. So you should have 2K. 2K. Hacer is to do. Goes with de canguro, 3B. Hacer de canguro, to babysit. Cuidar is to look after or to care for, and that would go with this one, my younger brother or sister. So cuidar a mi hermano menor would be to look after my younger brother. Cuidar a mi hermana menor would be to look after my younger sister. Cuidar a mi hermano or hermana menor. Lavar, to wash. I put that with el coche de mi padre or madre, so you are looking at 5A. 5A. Lavar el coche de mi padre. Fregar, specifically to do with washing up the dishes, would go with los platos down here. So it'd be lavar los platos. Fregar los platos would be 6M. You could equally say lavar los platos, by the way, to wash the dishes. It's quite legitimate, that, so you could have used either, really. Pasar is used specifically with the hoover, so pasar la aspiradora, to do the hoovering. Arreglar is that one that meant to tidy or to neaten or to sort, and it goes with mi dormitorio. So you've got 8L. Arreglar mi dormitorio, to tidy my room. Sacar fotos is to take photos or to take out photos, but we were putting it with la basura, hopefully, the rubbish. Sacar la basura, 9F. Sacar la basura. And remember, comida basura is how you say junk food. Comida basura. Vaciar, think about vacant, meaning empty. So vaciar is to empty something, and here we'd pair that with el lavaplatos, to empty the dishwasher, if you've got one. 10N. Vaciar el lavaplatos. Planchar, to iron. Planchar, as I said to you, is the idea of, it's got an idea, the word planchar, of flat board. And as I say, you can use it for food that's griddled. Gambas a la plancha, prawns on the griddle. But here we're interested in la ropa, because to iron the clothes would be planchar la ropa. Maybe think of laundry as ropa as laundry as well. Planchar la ropa. Planchar la ropa. Preparar. Okay, what could that be? I would go here for la cena. Preparar is very often used in relation to preparing food or to cooking, in other words. There is a specific verb to cook, cocinar, but often you can use preparar. If you wanted to say to make a sandwich, or you could say preparar un bocadillo. A sandwich is a bocadillo. But here it's going with la cena I. So it's 12I. 12I. Preparar la cena. Poner and quitar is the words for, or the verb for, to lay. To lay and to clear la mesa, the table. Poner, quitar la mesa. So 13G. And finally, trabajar. Okay, you've got trabajar, meaning to work here, en el jardín, to work in the garden. So you should have had 14E. Trabajar en el jardín, in the garden. So that's hopefully starting to really familiarise yourself with this language and giving you some additional stuff to help you as well. Now what I want to do is use these pictures as a speaking tool and to get us to start to remember this stuff even better and to make nice sentences, okay? And at the same time pointing out things like tengo que again to you here because it's very important. First things though, if you wanted to say in your write or say in the GCSE that your mum or your dad gives you some money for doing these things, pocket money, this is how you do it. You would say, for example, mi madre, my mother, me da. Okay, this is a back to front Spanish expression in the sense that what they say, da is he or she gives. So clearly what you can see is the way the Spanish do it is they say, my mother, me, she gives. It's that way around. Me gives. My mum, me gives £20 por semana, per week. That's how you do it. And the word for pounds in Spanish is libras. Okay, think about the star sign, Libra, it might help. Libras are pounds. Be very careful because libros with an O is not pounds, it is books. Okay, so you've got libros, books, but libras, a feminine word, it's got an A, are pounds, as in pounds sterling, pounds currency. So £20, for example, will be 20 libras. 20 libras. £10, 10 libras. £30, 30 libras. 40, 40, and so on. So I'm going to show you how to construct a simple little phrase that you might want to use if you're asked to talk about your household chores and tasks that you do, and you wanted to specifically add that you get paid for that. So, for example, mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, but my mum gives me £20 per week, but los lunes, on Mondays, tengo que. Now, can you remember what tengo que means? Because tengo on its own just means I have, as in I possess, whatever it is. But when you add que to the verb tener, it changes the meaning to the idea of have to. So tengo que, I have to. And we're gonna use these images to practice shortly, but vaciar el lavaplatos y the letter Y for and, hacer de canguro, babysit. So my mother gives me £20 per week, but on Mondays I have to empty the dishwasher and babysit. Okay? Los martes tengo que fregar los platos y sacar la basura. On Tuesdays I have to wash up, or literally to wash up the dishes or the plates. Y sacar la basura, take out the rubbish, and so on. Okay. Poner el lavaplatos to. Okay, we're using poner here to load the dishwasher. Okay, do you remember we saw poner la mesa? In fact, here it is here, meaning to lay the table. And I did say to you that poner generally is to put, but it changes its meaning depending on what you exactly you want to say. So here poner translates as, not, we wouldn't say in English to put the table, so more naturally we would say to lay the table in English. So poner here means lay. Poner el lavaplatos, look at the arrow, is showing you that we're loading the dishwasher, aren't we? Poner el lavaplatos, as opposed to vaciar, to empty the dishwasher. Vaciar el lavaplatos, poner el lavaplatos. So that translates as to empty the dishwasher, to load the dishwasher. So poner is changing its meaning subtly depending on what you want to say. Quitar la mesa, to clear the table, and so on. Okay? I'm not going to dwell on that slide because now what I want you to do is I want you to practice speaking. So you need to pause me and you need to construct a nice little sentence for yourself saying, Mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, pero los lunes tengo que, and then choosing these pink expressions here, choose what you're going to say according to the pictures. Okay, so for example, the phrase would be Mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, pero los lunes tengo que. What are you going to select from here? Well, that's a picture of the dishwasher being emptied. So you would need to say vaciar el lavaplatos and hacer de canguro down here. Okay, so you can, we'll come back and check them. Yeah, so this is a little bit of time for you to practice speaking, okay, and see if you can get these right. I think it's quite straightforward to do. It might require a bit of thought, but what it's doing, it's getting you to practice this language, speaking it to yourself. I mean, you don't have to speak out loud, you can just mumble it, it doesn't matter. So pause me and see if you can match effectively. What you're doing is matching these pictures with the phrases down here. Should be easy, but practice saying it quickly. I'm pausing, or you can pause it, come back when you're ready. Okay, so now I've brought you back to a slide where we've only got the pictures to work with. If you want to follow through this with me, we can practice this now together and see if you can sort of keep up with me. So I'm going to go through what I do on every day of the week now, and I'll pause to give you a chance to say the, if you like, the phrase that goes with each picture. Bueno, entonces, mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, but, los lunes tengo que vaciar el lavaplatos y hacer de canguro. So I'm going to pause as we go through these to give you a chance to say what you think the picture relates to. Los martes tengo que fregar los platos y sacar la basura. Los miércoles tengo que poner el lavaplatos y trabajar en el jardín. Los jueves tengo que, that's a picture of laying the table, I believe. Poner la mesa y I think this is supposed to be clear the table. Quitar la mesa. I've lost my arrow. That's what it is. There should be a little arrow telling you that that's clearing the table. Los viernes tengo que arreglar mi dormitorio y, let's say that's Dad's car, by the way. Lavar o lavar el coche de mi padre. Los sábados, I've lost my los in front of that for some reason. Los sábados tengo que pasar la aspiradora y limpiar el baño o limpiar el cuarto de baño, bathroom. Finalmente, los domingos tengo que planchar la ropa y pasear al perro, walk the dog. So I really hope, guys, that you're starting to become super familiar with this stuff. And the purpose of this really today is to get you to speak a bit, and through speaking and using the language to make you very familiar with these words and phrases. Now we're going to this is the final part of today's lesson, and we're just going to take it a little stage further on from that, and we're going to add a negative expression, and I'm just going to remind you of little connecting words like también, meaning also or as well, pero, but, we've already seen that, pero, but, and aunque, which means although, aunque. And those of you that are hot on your English will probably spot that, but and although, essentially it's the same meaning, isn't it? So instead of using but all the time, you could interchange it with aunque, although, because it has exactly the same meaning in a sentence, doesn't it? I went to the beach today. It was sunny, but there was a cold wind. You could equally say, I went to the beach today. It was sunny, although there was a cold wind. It has exactly the same meaning. So let's just concentrate on what we do on Monday here. So, los lunes tengo que. So, again, mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, pero los lunes tengo que hacer de canguro y también, you could say, and also, which would be really nice, isn't it? So we're using this word también a bit. So I have to do the babysitting, and also, what's the Spanish for this one? Pasar la aspiradora. And then how can we go on to use an expression to describe this picture? Well, what you can say is either pero or aunque, but or although, I don't have to wash up the dishes. And how do you think you might say that? How do you think you might say, although I don't have to wash up the dishes? And by the way, I've given you the verbs down the side here to help you. So which was the one that meant wash up? It was fregar, wasn't it? So you would say, aunque no tengo que. So here we've got tengo que, meaning I have to. If you want to say I don't have to do something, it's simple. It's no tengo que, where no is spelled N-O. No tengo que fregar los platos. I don't have to wash the dishes. So just have a quick look at this. This is essentially what I've just said, but I've taken the verbs out. So if we look again, just focus still on the Monday, los lunes, on Mondays. Mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, pero my mum gives me £20 per week. But los lunes tengo que here's your two pictures that tell you what goes in the gap here. And then it's but or although, aunque or pero, you can use either. And I'm going to give you a little expression which is really good to know in Spanish, por lo menos. And I'll see if you can work that out actually. No tengo que, and that's what's referring to this third crossed out activity. So just you could pause me if you want to. What are the pictures here? These three pictures, what would go in the gaps here for los lunes? And that's right now, isn't it? So it's hacer de canguro, it's pasar la aspiradora, but no tengo que, here it is, I don't have to fregar los platos. And can you guess the meaning then of por lo menos? Por lo menos. Read that passage, if you like, or that statement to yourselves and see if you could guess the meaning of por lo menos. So it's, my mum gives me £20 per week, but los lunes, Mondays or on Mondays, tengo que, I have to, hacer de canguro, do the babysitting, y pasar la aspiradora, and to pass the hoover or do the hoovering, aunque or pero, although or but, por lo menos, no tengo que fregar los platos. I don't have to wash up the dishes. So what does por lo menos mean? It means at least. And we might remember menos meaning often, it means less. And we've seen it alongside más, haven't we? Más or menos, more or less. So menos has the idea of less. But here, por lo menos means at least. Now, I'm going to let you, bearing in mind you've got the verbs down here, I'm going to see if you can work out now how you would say something similar for Tuesdays, los martes. So here's the framework. Mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, pero los lunes, actually that should read, this is an error, guys. And can I just ask you to consider that instead of lunes, here it says martes. So here's your framework. Mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, pero los martes, not los lunes, tengo que. So now we're looking at these three pictures. All right. What goes in the gaps? Here's your verbs. Can you remember how you say these pictures? So, what you should have is mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, pero los martes tengo que. This one, sacar la basura. There's the verb to take out. Sacar la basura, to take out the rubbish. We've got an arrow back this time. Y quitar la mesa, to quit the table. Where is it? Quitar. And another mistake by the looks of it, guys. I haven't got... yes, I have. Quitar. Here we go. Quitar is to clear away in this sense. To clear away the table. Quitar la mesa. Aunque, although, or pero, but, you can use either. Por lo menos, at least. Por lo menos, no tengo que. I don't have to. This is a picture of a crossed out bedroom. You should be saying... No tengo que arreglar. There it is. Actually, another way of remembering this might be to arrange. So it's arrange, tidy, neat and sort. Arreglar mi dormitorio. Okay, it looks like this. Mi madre me da 20 libras por semana, pero los lunes tengo que sacar la basura y quitar la mesa, aunque o pero por lo menos, at least, no tengo que arreglar mi dormitorio. I don't have to tidy my room. Okay. Final thing today. I think this is the final thing. At the moment, we're using the infinitives of the verb. Look, here they are, the verbs down here, and they're all in the infinitive, meaning that they translate just simply as, well, for example, with limpiar, it translates just as clean or to clean. And if you looked up the verb, you wanted to find out how you say clean or to clean, meaning the action, the verb. If you looked that up in a Spanish dictionary, this is what you will find. You will find limpiar with its AR ending on it intact. It's called the infinitive of the verb. The reason we're using that is because we're using it in conjunction with tengo que, aren't we? So we're saying I have to clean, for example. So this is why we use the infinitive. Tengo que limpiar, I have to clean. There's lots of examples of words that you use with the infinitive in Spanish. So if I wanted to say I want to clean my room, for example, I want is quiero. And we would just link that with the infinitive of whatever it is that we want to do. So if I say quiero limpiar mi dormitorio, for example, I want to clean my I want to clean my room. Quiero limpiar mi dormitorio. I want to tidy my room. Quiero arreglar mi dormitorio, and so on. And there's lots of expressions that use the infinitive. So we don't modify this in any way. We don't chop off the AR ending or the ER ending, for example, with hacer, or modify it in any way. However, there's lots of cases where we do need to modify the verb. So let's say that expression, that statement that we saw earlier, los lunes tengo que sacar la basura y quitar la mesa, pero o aunque por lo menos no tengo que arreglar mi dormitorio. Let's say what we want to say is not this, but we want to say on Mondays I take out the rubbish and I clear the table, although at least I don't tidy my room. So there's none of the idea of I have to anymore. We're just making a bold statement of what we do on Mondays. How do you change this up here to say this down here in Spanish? What changes to the key verbs here have to be made to change from this, which involves having to this, which is just the statement of what you do? Okay? The answer is this, and I'm telling you this because you have to be aware of the difference between a verb in the infinitive, like sacar, quitar, and arreglar, to a conjugated verb where you've chopped off the AR ending and you've added another letter to alter the meaning. This is what you should have. So out goes the tengo que bit. We don't use that at all because we're not now saying I have to do anything. But the verb, for example, sacar, needs to be changed from to take out the rubbish to I take out the rubbish. And if you remember, guys, that the present tense, which is how you describe what you do currently, to say I do something in the present tense, you chop off the AR ending and you add an O. So what you would do is say los lunes saco la basura. You could say yo saco la basura, but you don't need the yo, the word for I in Spanish, as we already know. Los lunes saco la basura y quito la mesa, aunque por lo menos no arreglo mi dormitorio. So these are now verbs that have been conjugated. They've been changed, haven't they, from the infinitive, sacar, quitar, and arreglar. We've chopped off the AR ending, added an O, and we've gone from, for example, quitar, which is to clear away. We've gone from clear away to I clear away, present tense, which is quito. From arreglar, to tidy, to arreglo, I tidy. Okay, as in I tidy my room currently on every Monday or whatever it is. So this is all about present tense, what you currently do. So I think that I'm going to stop talking. I am actually going to extend this, I've decided, because I've got to finish this off today, because I don't particularly want to be returning. Actually, I am going to stop there today because I think that's enough for you today. But next lesson, I'm going to give you some sentences to work on. And also a reminder of some liking and disliking expressions. But we'll do that next time because we stand now at 50 minutes, which I think is more than long enough. A reminder, guys, with these longer videos that I'm doing, do break it up for yourselves because it is a long time to be sat there listening to me. And, you know, at a suitable break point in the video, put me on pause or just stop the video for that day and come back to it another day if you want to. You don't have to do this in one hit. But I really hope that these videos are making you feel like you're progressing with your Spanish and that you're deepening your knowledge really effectively. That's it for today. Hasta luego. Hasta la próxima vez. Until the next time. Adios.